At Chipotle, we also have a playlist. Guacamole as it's being hand mashed, the sizzle of adobo chicken on the grill, the chopping of onions and cilantro. We call our playlist Real. Order now. Chipotle, for real.
This episode is brought to you by Buffalo Trace Distillery. Powerful yet smooth. Contained but never tame. Proudly going their own way, but never going alone. This is the spirit inside Buffalo Trace Bourbon. Made at Buffalo Trace Distillery, the world's most award-winning distillery. Buffalo Trace is always perfectly untamed. Distilled, aged, and bottled by Buffalo Trace Distillery, Franklin County, Kentucky. 90 proof, 45% alcohol by volume. Learn more at buffalotracedistillery.com. Please drink responsibly.
25th anniversary of David and Donna's wedding.
It's the silver anniversary of the Silvers.
Gosh, what I saw in you that first FaceTime call, I have never seen you lit up like that.
God, the population was like 100 and something people. Really narrow alleyways and like cobblestone roads. And with the crew, we took up the entire hotel. Dancing with the Stars Australia is now airing.
And it's fun. I love sitting on that judging panel. I dance on episode 6. I turned 40. The best surprise of all was
Oldish. The art of knowing more and caring less. With your host, Randy Spelling, Brian Austin Green, and Sharna Burgess.
Hi, baby.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, everybody.
Long time no see.
Yeah, I know. So this is a Life Lately kind of episode of Oldish for us. Sharna and I are getting in here, and we're gonna talk about all this stuff.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on in our world. Yeah,
a lot of life has been happening.
A lot of life has been happening lately, so we can get into it.
Yeah.
I guess we can start with, I turned 40.
I was just gonna say we can start with your birthday. You turned 40, Zane turned 3.
He did. We have a 3-year-old. That's wild.
I love the fact that your birthday and Zane's are a week apart.
I know. Literally 7 days.
It was really cool. So we had a party and we celebrated both birthdays at one party. And it was really cool, like having sort of the generational thing of you've got the bar for the adults that are there, you know, because you turned 40.
Thank you, Casamigos.
And then, thank you, Casamigos. And then we had the bounce houses and the games and the bubble blower and the DJ and the stuff like that. And it was great for the kids.
It was amazing.
It was super fun.
You through this, it wasn't a surprise as in I didn't know it was happening, but it was a surprise as I didn't know what was happening. I just knew there was a party and that it was going to be both Zany's and mine. And I even shared this with you, but like transparently in the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait, so I've got to share my 40th birthday with one of my kiddos where it's like everything I do is for my kids. And I had this little selfish moment of like, but I think can I just be celebrating like just me on my own?
Right.
And wait, so there's going to be kids. Can I get drunk? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
How am I going to
answer? Yes.
Answer yes. Confirmed.
You can.
But then as I sat with it, I was like, no, wait, it's so beautiful because I'm so in love with the fact that we are close together and that so many of our friends would come to both parties anyway, and that we got to have a beautiful day. And family is my vibe. When is it my vibe to go out and get drunk? Never. Literally never happens.
This party was absolutely your vibe.
My vibe.
Our vibe of life now.
You know me. You know
It's like when we have parties at our house, everybody comes over. The kids are outside swimming and jumping on the trampoline. Adults are inside in the kitchen and we're making cocktails and we're laughing and we're having fun and then like barbecuing and we sort of mix both of them. But the kids love it because it's a get together for them. We give them their own space. Like we allow them to be
play and do their thing.
As responsible as we could possibly expect from
kiddos.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. Carnival themed. The food was phenomenal. The location I was in there, I won't say where it is, but it was like I looked at you and I was like, this is where we get married. Yeah. It was so beautiful and so cool. And I loved every second of it. And I had a lot of cocktails.
Oh yeah.
And it was from between 12 to 4:30.
It was a long day. And then we went back to the house and like four parents came with their kids. And so the kids went swimming outside and then we continued drinking inside.
And it was such a good time. But I have to say, even though party, phenomenal gift, and you nailed it, baby. 10 out of 10, no notes. The best surprise of all was 2 days before, 2 days before, I'm in the kitchen cooking salmon, and suddenly I turn around and my best friend, my soul brother, Mr. Patrick Helm, who I lovingly have called Patch since we pretty much met, was standing in my kitchen. And I hadn't seen him in 2 years.
He lives in London.
He lives in London, you guys. I hadn't seen him in 2 years. We used to live together. Quick backstory on Patch. We used to live together when I was living in London. When I was 18, 19, we were competing in dance with each other. We traveled the world touring with Burn the Floor. We did Broadway together. We have stayed
Does he still
best
dance?
friends.
I was going to ask you.
He dances, he choreographs, he does like dance fitness a lot now. He helps on Strictly Come Dancing a lot.
So that's still what he does. That's still the business that he's in.
Yeah, and his
dance.
passion. He's very good at it too.
Okay.
And we have been, again, soul brother. And I love him deeply. I was the best woman at his wedding, helped him write his vows, like that kind of connection. When we eventually get married, he will be my best man in my wedding party. Like I can't wait for those days. But for you to know that above all things, that is just the coolest gift you could ever give me. It was just so special.
It was cool. It was exciting talking to him. It was kind of a weird setup because I was out of town. I was in Spain for 2.5 weeks shooting. I was out of town at conventions and things. So I was gone for your birthday, but then I was around for Zane's. So then I was like, okay, since I'm not going to be here for your birthday, but I'll be here for Zane's, let's combine the two and have one big party.
Yeah, it was perfect.
So it was a lot, and it was kind of the stress of like figuring out, okay, you're going to know that this party is happening because I need your help with it's
Guest
40
list.
Guest list. Tell me the things. But then I was like, okay, how do I still keep it fun? Like, how do I still have surprises inside of a party that you're expecting? And what was really cool for me was it was kind of a surprise as well. Like you come up with all the pieces and you book them all and you expect them to be there, but it's not until you get there and you see them all that you go, okay, it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
You nailed it. Again, 10 out of 10, no notes. But how, spoiled is such a terrible word, but so spoiled. So my best friend in the world, my soul brother, has flown over to surprise me. I have this incredible, massive party. And later today, we have someone coming over to the house so they can help me custom design a massive kitchen island for us.
Yeah.
Because I love being in the kitchen and family vibes.
That's your birthday present.
Cooking for my tribe.
Oddly enough.
Oddly enough. Yeah.
It's like a power drill for me and and a kitchen cabinet for you. Like there's such like old people presence.
I know.
It's so funny that we do a show called Oldish, but those things
Once upon a time, Sharna
perfect.
would have wanted just a diamond necklace
For sure.
or something. Just give me the diamonds.
Yeah.
Still, you could always give me diamonds, baby. I'll never say no to them. But a kitchen island also really does it to
with
me.
a 9-foot countertop you can prepare food on drawers.
I'm very excited right
to,
now.
Store things
It does
in.
it for me.
Oh man, it's literally everything you've ever wanted. Plus, you get to sit with the guy that's going to build it and design it with him, and which is cool.
Yeah, you're 40 when that's what you want.
I know. 52.
So you mentioned that you were in Spain. We have to talk about this because it was incredible seeing you light up. And we only talked about this last night, but you energetically, gosh, what I saw in you that first FaceTime call while you were in Spain and you'd had 2 days, I think it was, out on set and having this experience that I'll let you share. I have never seen you lit up like that.
No, I talked to you the first
Was it the
night.
first day?
I think it was the end of day one.
Okay. So end of day one, and I'm looking at this face and you look 10 years old. You are lit up like a Christmas tree. You are so excited. you're giddy with it. You can't tell me enough details. You couldn't not talk about all the little things. And even if we'd change a subject, you'd go back to it with another thing to share. You were like one of our kids. You were so excited and lit up. And creatively, I haven't seen you lit up like that ever. And it's
you know
been a
how
long
it
time.
is when you work with people that appreciate the same things you do, then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like work. Like we worked, it was a long day. We did a lot of emotional stuff, but we got to the end of the day and it was like, if all of the days go like this thing is going to be incredible. Mm-hmm. And it was just the excitement of, you know, when you like for me traveling that far, I'd worked with this woman, Bruna, before on a project in Spain, but I'd never worked with Yvonne, the director. I'd never worked with Danny, the cinematographer. So you never know when you get out there on set what the experience is gonna be. So to get to the end of the day and go, I am surrounded by people that are so like-minded. To work with a director like Yvonne, who was so, we just love the same things. We love the same editors, the same music, the same styles of comedy and drama and tension. And so then we are partners in making something. It's like, I'm number one on the call sheet. He's the director. You know, that can go wrong in so many ways. And it does on sets when you have one person that really, they bring this energy to set. Then you have another one that brings a totally different energy. You end up creating a space where it's clashing, and then everybody else around, they're sort of on eggshells all day long. This was not that at all. We just had an amazing day. And as we were getting through days, it just got more and more fun. And it's, as an actor, that's not, you know, it's such a small, making a film is such a small, shooting a film, I should say, is such a small piece of the making of it. There's all this pre-production that goes in where you're finding locations and you're figuring out color palettes and what cameras you want to use and what lens packages and who your actors are. And you're doing all of the like tweaking of the script and all of the things. Then you get out on set and you have however many days your budget can afford. You shoot something and you light it the best way you can. You shoot it the best way you can. You have makeup and hair and all the actors do the best work they can. And then a director goes into post with all of that stuff. And then they have that footage. They have sound design. They have VFX. They have score. They have editing. They have all of these things where they can either make something or break something. So to have this small piece work as well as it did, and know, because Yvonne, the director, is an editor as well. So we would talk about all day what his ideas were. And then I would share my ideas and then they would excite him. And then he was like, oh my God, this is a new theme and a thing I want to do with this. And we just worked really well together. So it was incredibly exciting because I felt like a kid again. You know, I felt like I wasn't just in this uphill battle trying to finish this shoot by the last day and then pray to God that it becomes something cool. Yeah. Everybody that I know that's involved in this project are really, really talented people. So I'm excited to, you know, he'll send me just like a drone shot of me walking with music, you know, that he took a score from something else, but you just see it and you go, okay, yeah. It's really cool. It's really exciting.
I'm so excited for you. I honestly can't wait to see it. Do you want to talk about how many people are in it? Any of the concept of it?
No. So I can't, I don't want to talk about the concept of it. I was aside from the last like 2 or 3 pages of it, it's just me in the story. Me by myself. So majority of the script was all stage direction. It wasn't dialogue because I wasn't in any scenes with anybody. We had an 18 person crew.
Yeah.
18. The whole crew. That was it.
Small.
So we're 3 hours north of Barcelona, in the mountains. And we were in really narrow alleyways and like cobblestone roads. And the population was like 100 and something people.
That's crazy.
We, with the crew, we took up the entire hotel. So every morning at 6:30, they would have breakfast downstairs in sort of like this common area. We'd have coffee and croissants and the food that they had. And then we would get in our 4x4s and we would drive to locations. Some of them were an hour and a half away. Some of them were 30 minutes away. But they were all kind of in the middle of nowhere. And it was really fun to be out and you hear running water and birds. And that was it. And that was I couldn't have been closer to nature for the entire shoot. It was really, really cool. I even sent you photographs of the ground, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to start growing our grass more like this."
So inspired by everything
I want
around
native
you.
Plants and flowers and things.
I want flowers like this and grass like this. Like, okay, baby, yeah, I got you.
And in case anybody has seen, as I picked up the cup, I lost a fingernail.
Yeah, you did
in the shoot. I don't want to say how, but I lost that. It'll grow back, but it's pretty ugly right now.
When you showed it to me,
I also had a cut and a bruise on my forehead.
That was a huge lump when you got home. It was a
huge lump, and it was just a solid circular bruise.
Yep.
Which was, I then had to go do a convention and do photos and stuff. So I'm putting on the arnica and all the stuff, hoping it goes away. But then I would see the pictures I take with people, and I was like, I look like it's like a bee sting right in the middle of my forehead. Right in the middle of my forehead.
Can't do anything about it.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Buying a car shouldn't eat up your week. That's why Carvana made it convenient. Car buying that fits around your life, not the other way around. You can get pre-qualified for an auto loan in just a couple of minutes and browse thousands of quality car options, all within your terms, all online, all on your schedule. Turn car buying into a few clicks and not a full week's endeavor. Finance and buy your car at your convenience on Carvana. Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
So you've been an incredibly busy man this year, which is amazing. 25th anniversary of David and Donna's wedding, which has been such a big thing for everybody around the country, especially you guys doing these
25th anniversary. So it's the silver anniversary of the Silvers. I'm David Silver.
Yeah.
She's now Donna Silver.
Wow.
So yeah, we're doing these conventions and and people are excited by that. Understandably, it's fun. You know, it's kind of a cool milestone thing in this show that has lived on for so long in people's lives. It's sort of this fun, it's a new aspect to the show that people haven't gotten for 25 years.
And I think it's also, again, and you know this, I didn't necessarily watch the show, but you go 25 years and it just sort of takes stock of where you were 25 years ago and then brings in nostalgia. Like there's a whole world of magic wrapped up in that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you guys, not that we'll talk about them, but you guys have some really cool stuff that you're talking about in doing.
We do. Tori and I.
That's based around that.
We're doing some David and Donna stuff this year. So look out for that.
And I'm super excited. The concepts that you've come up with.
We did a commercial, by the way. We did the aviation gin commercial with Ryan Reynolds for Father's Day. We did a reverse vasectomy drink made out of gin. And it was Tori and I, and it was great. It was so much fun. Ryan was fantastic. That was a day in New York for us. Super fun, great group of people.
And funny too. And
So
it all
funny.
comes around because you got a vasectomy. And then I turned around and was
And then
like,
you've been talking about wanting
having another
child.
baby.
Yeah. Yes. So that's what it's based around. Yeah.
We recently had the conversation of so you got a vasectomy not because we were not trying to have kids. It was because you did the most amazing thing. We knew birth control made me feel crazy. I went through 3 different ones and none of them felt good with me. But I was on birth control when we conceived Zane. So they were making me crazy and not doing their job.
So you say.
So yeah, okay. Entrapment.
We could play the thing of like, whoops, I forgot that day, that week.
You know that's not the case.
Right.
But we talked about it after having Zane, and you said, well, why don't I just do this? First of all, it's reversible if we want to do it that way, or we can just freeze sperm and do IVF at the end of the day. And it was such an amazing thing because you handled the contraception part of it, which is usually the woman that's taking or doing something, putting things into her body that make her feel awful.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you made the choice of doing something that I think some men are very scared of because it's
But
your manhood.
You started it. I mean, you were the one that did birth control to begin with. I mean,
Yes.
you were all in on being the one that took control of that situation.
Well, I knew
it was
how
just a bad situation.
I
It
knew
just
how
didn't
easily
work.
you made babies. So we
Right.
were not trying
Right.
to jump in that
Yeah.
quick, but the universe said, no, it's now.
Right.
And we got Zane and that's perfect.
Right.
So yeah, and it's not a shameful conversation. I've said it out loud because I think I would love so many more men to feel empowered to do that for their spouse or even
God.
in their single life of knowing
Can
you
I just
also,
say a vasectomy is so freeing.
I don't know where you were going with it. I
For
was
a
like,
man,
painful,
it's
hard?
so freeing.
And was it painful?
No, not painful. It's it seems like it's against what is ingrained. Like a man spends his entire life protecting
That part of him.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, doc, let's do this. And so it
Snip
seems counterintuitive. But not painful. If anything, it's like you get a bit lightheaded and kind of cold sweaty just because you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. And am I going to feel something? And so there's that word, it's like that, that like tension of, could this be something? But it was nothing terrible. I was sore for a couple days afterwards, and then that was it. And the peace of mind
I know.
that has
For
come
both
with
of us.
it is
Yeah,
fantastic.
for both of us. And I think it's important to know that it is reversible and it has like a 98 or 99% success rate in reversing.
Yeah.
Of course, people have different stories.
For sure. Everybody has
or men
different
can-
stories and everything.
Right.
You can't base your life on stories because you're going to be able to find a story that is truthful in either direction.
You can prove yourself right anywhere on the
God.
internet.
With
Doesn't matter what you
anything.
say. Like the world is flat.
Right. Yeah.
The earth is, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can prove yourself right or wrong anywhere.
For sure. You can find information supporting one side or the other easily.
Yeah. Which is a crazy thing. We're really in that time right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Dancing with the Stars is airing.
Oh, yes. We can talk about that.
Okay.
That Dancing with the Stars Australia is now airing. And how many episodes have come out so far of that?
3 episodes now, which is really cool. And we've got 4 to go. I dance on episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really, but it was a really cool dance that we put together.
Yeah.
I absolutely felt my age. Oh my God. I put together this dance with another dancer out there, Jared, and he's incredibly talented. But I just underestimated how athletic it was and how long it's been since. This is like a tour dance, not a Dancing with the Stars show dance, but more like we're on tour and we're going balls to the wall.
Now,
dance.
in all fairness, you guys did that routine how many times with rehearsal and then the day of taping. And so
we ran it in way too many times. And I was gassed
you
by the
didn't
time we
have
filmed
the
it.
stamina that you did when you were younger, but yeah, it was still an amazing,
Thank you, babe.
amazing dance.
I'm excited for people to see that. But right now we're in episode 3, and the way Dancing with the Stars in Australia works is different to the way it works over here.
Right.
So we do pre-records, and because it's a easier budget for the network,
right,
and we can still keep the show running. And so these dancers are absolute beasts, I have to say.
I was going to say that's way harder for the celebrities.
So much harder.
For the pros as well.
These pros basically get all their dancers and their layout for the most part, or at least for the first half, before they even meet their celebrity. And then they have X amount of weeks. I don't want to speak out of turn, but let's say it's around 6, give or take, before their first episode. And that's when they're trying to get all of their dances done.
So they're choreographing the entire season worth of shows, dance styles and everything.
Before their first performance.
Right.
And what's so hard for that is, you'll even remember from your experience on Dancing with the Stars, before you get that first performance in, you're just in a room.
Oh, Jesus.
You're just learning steps. You're like, is this real? What is it going to go? What's it going to feel like? You have nothing, no context. And so it is probably Groundhog Day for these guys. I reckon it's so hard to keep it going and keep excited. And then they have their first performance. But after we've started performances, so we split into 2 casts, cast A and cast B. And this is how Masked Singer works, I think. We have the audience in-house that votes. So we have cast A perform, and then 3 days later, cast B performs. Sorry. A, then B back to back. We go A performs, next day B performs. Then 2 to 3 days later, we go A performs, B performs. So they get 2 to 3 days, sometimes 4, in between performances. But what's so hard about that is they've done their first performance now. They've probably grown so much since they put these routines together. Now they've only got 2 to 3 days to go in, maybe make it harder, maybe work on what the judges have said to them, all these different things before they come back and do their next performance. And then after a few weeks, I think it's about after 4 or 5 this season, we then bring the whole cast together after we've done a few eliminations.
Once you've narrowed it down and you've got...
And so it's really, really tough on them. And I have so much admiration for the pros on that show, because I've never worked under that format as a pro. And I was so in love with the experience of designing and curating a journey and allowing...
And having a week to do it for each style.
For sure. So you could create in the moment based off of what just happened and address the judges' comments.
You could be editing music. You could be like all really creating.
And so they're such beasts over there. And they are here too, obviously, in America. They're phenomenal talents.
Yeah.
But I have so much respect for what they do. It's really incredible. And it's fun. I love sitting on that judging panel.
You're really good at it.
Thank you, baby. Yeah. I know you're always going to say that, but I can, because you love
are really
me.
good at it though.
But I can feel like I can even say it about myself.
You have, and I've said this to you before, you have the ability, and I think it's because you were a pro here, that you don't necessarily judge the same way. You critique and you talk about things that weren't, that could be improved on, but you give constructive criticism and you seem to really connect with people and give them really useful things, really useful ways of looking at what they're doing that may not be working, that they're struggling with a little bit. And I can only assume that because they have then 2 or 3 days before their next performance, that it gives them something that they can really go in with and work on.
Yeah.
Oh, Sharna gave me this really simple note in a way of holding myself, but God, it made the biggest difference. Yeah. Now let's dance that dance that we have in 3 days, but with this new stuff in mind. And I can't imagine how helpful that is, because there's nothing quite like constructive criticism.
Totally.
It's one thing, and it's in anything you do. It's one thing to sit with an artist that you really love, who was like, oh, I just do this, and and your picture is okay, but I shade like this, and another person sit there and go, okay, so this is how I shade, and this is why, and this might make it easier for you. I noticed that you've it's teaching someone how to fish instead of just fishing for them. And criticism can, when you're a judge, can be brutal. It can be really, really hard when you're not a dancer and all of a sudden you have somebody that's picking you apart for how you're holding your fingers, how your shoulders are, whether you're on the heel or the toe of your foot, it can be really overwhelming as somebody that is not a dancer. It's like, oh my God, I just heard 50 things that I didn't do well. So it's really nice to hear, okay, those 50 things are there, but here's 5 things you can do that could fix those 50 things.
Totally.
It's not that hard.
Well, that's what I try and do, right? It's exactly as you just said. It sucks when you feel like you're just being told what's wrong. So I always try and acknowledge what I see they were working on, because you want that too. You've been in the experience. It's so hard to stand there and know you worked your ass off for like 10 hours a day to get to that point and none of it got acknowledged. You just feel like an asshole standing there with someone telling you everything that was wrong with it.
Right.
So I love to always acknowledge, even if, for example, someone's cha-cha technique isn't great. They say, I can see how much you worked on it. I can see the beginnings of it. And while we didn't quite nail it yet, I really appreciate that you worked hard on that. And then I love to give them takeaways, like in sports, takeaways, give you something you can work on. My favorite is when I give them these takeaways and I see them come back in the next episode.
And they're there.
And it's better.
They've worked on them. Yeah.
This season on Dancing with the Stars in Australia, there was a kid, his name's Kyle. One of the notes that I give him is he's a phenomenally talented dancer. And he actually has a little bit of a commercial dance background in Bangara and in Bangara. And so I said to him, there's things that come up with commercial dancers when they do ballroom, and I could see that was happening. And I asked his partner to truly teach him how to lead like a ballroom dancer, because I think he could do it and it was going to make it make sense in his body. And when she did that with him, the guy that stepped out onto the floor in the next episode was 1,000,000 times better than the guy from the previous one, because just of that one thing. And
interesting.
It feels so cool to know, oh, yeah, I can say these things here and they can help. That my experiences and what I see and what I have to say can actually make a difference for someone else's experience on the show.
You know what's really interesting about that? Like, that concept is, I feel like it's a lot of what we do here on the show. Like, you try and share enough with people so they have those light bulb moments for themselves where they go, okay, that one thing you just said made all the difference for me. And we never know what it's going to be.
No.
I never know what it's going to be that I say to somebody, but it's so much fun when you're talking to somebody and all of a sudden you see their face light up because you can tell they got it.
Yeah.
And they're like, done. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah,
so to
really
see
cool.
you talking to people and see that happening pretty consistently. I mean, I got to say, like, in watching, it's damn near every single time you're talking to someone, because you give really good advice. Like, you're not just judging them and telling them what they're doing wrong and giving them a score based on that. Like, you are really building excitement within them for wanting to come back, like wanting to go work on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so great. I want to go try it. And then they come back and they succeed with it. And then it's like, okay, give me more. Yeah. Give me as much as I can handle. It's really, you're really good at it.
Thanks,
It's
baby.
like, that is absolutely, I said this to Yvonne, the director that I just worked with in Spain. Like, you find your genre that like honestly works for you. And then that's the thing, kind of like Soleil with making documentaries.
Totally.
You see them and you go, that is truly you speaking within this art form. Now, I think you have tons of things outside of dance, and that's what you're exploring now. But within dance, that is, aside from you being a phenomenal teacher and a phenomenal dancer, you have an incredible way of helping people understand it and get better at it in a kind, loving way. Like you're not a mean judge.
No, I'm just not a mean person.
But there are people that's.
There are people that play that role, right? Totally, and you need that on television. You can't have a panel of all me's. I mean, that's incredibly boring, and you'd be like, "Oh, just stop! It's too much." You need the balance of, say, who we have in Australia is Craig Revel Horwood, who's been on the one in the UK since the first. Oh, Craig, very dry to the point. Here's what's wrong.
He makes Len Goodman look like he was giving constructive criticism to people.
Len did.
Craig will just say some brutal stuff sometimes.
Dance disaster, darling.
Oh God.
Len was a grumpy
I love
old
you.
Len
You're
sometimes.
you're super sweet to me. Thank you.
Craig, yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually, and that's what's so funny. Craig in life is
such a
all
nice guy.
smiles and such a sweet guy.
He giggles about what he says and what he does on the show.
But now the dancers get it. And the very, very first episode where Craig was on the panel, you should have oh my God, babe.
They must have been like, oh my God.
This is like 3 years ago. So the very first episode, I don't know what their panel was like before that because this was my first episode also with Channel 7 and with Craig. He was handing out twos and he was himself as like very dry, dance disaster, whatever, like very, very short to the point. Everything was wrong.
Oh my God.
These guys are ready to quit. The pros were like, what do you, this is humiliating. They were really affected by it.
They'll come to him for people here in the States that don't watch the Australian version of the show. They'll come to him and he'll just literally look at somebody and go, that was dreadful.
Yeah.
Darling, that was the worst dancing I've ever seen. I got nothing out of that. You looked like a Muppet moving across the floor, but
a drunk girl at a party.
Right. But I really like, you seem inspired and you were trying really hard. So good for you. And you're kind of like, wait, what do you mean?
So
it doesn't make any sense.
And the dancers get it now too, by the way, because I will say in his defense, the critiques that he gives are on the money. Mm-hmm. The things that are wrong are
he's just not careful on the words that he picks.
They're the words that he picks. He just says them like bullet points and like says them. But the things that he says aren't wrong.
No.
Granted, saying a drunk girl at a party might not be a fact that we should, but he also now has softened. We're in this age where people are offended and taking things a lot more personally. People can be cancelled and whatnot, and he has softened. So you'll notice that he'll say now in the beginning, whatever is really negative, but I saw you living your best life, darling, and I really loved your energy. Like he'll pump it up with something nice at the end because television's changed.
Yeah.
You can't be like that anymore.
Yeah.
No matter how you travel, it's good to have a plan. Some people plan every minute. No sleep, bus, museum, another museum. While others only plan to take it day by day. When it comes to your finances, a plan is just as important. You can count on Credit Karma to give you the insights you need to understand your options so you can take charge of your financial path and find your way to money. Explore how you can make financial progress with confidence today. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses are powered by Meta AI, so you can get real-time answers.
Hey, Meta, how bougie is Jade Garden?
It's a trendy spot.
What's a color that pairs with this top?
Consider dark, earthy colors, charcoal or black.
What are some good first date topics?
Consider discussing favorite travel destinations or your favorite books.
Get suggestions, inspiration, and answers from your glasses. Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Iconic style meets Meta AI.
I get it. I understand that. It's kind of a shame though, in the sense of like, okay, this aspect is because when it's not being done to you, it's entertaining to watch. Like it's always fun to see somebody rip into somebody else about, when you're on
comedy,
the outside
right?
of it. Yeah.
Comedians on stage. It's
comedy.
the same thing.
Right.
But we're a bit more sensitive about it now.
Right.
Speaking of comedy, you just did someone else's podcast.
Oh, I did. I did Bert's.
Yeah.
Bert Kreischer.
Who you're a big fan of.
He's super funny. What a nice guy he is.
So we met him and his wife when we were at Balthazar
Getty's 50th birthday party.
And they were fangirling over you, and you were like, I'm fangirling over you. It was one of those moments.
So Bert told me a really funny story when he was younger. One of the only books that he ever read was Lord of the Flies, which then Balthazar was like the star of that movie.
Oh, got it.
So that's why he was such a big fan of Balthazar when he was younger. And then he met Balthazar somewhere and they got along really well. That's why he ended up at the party. But he was a fan of 90210. He had friends who were like, hey, so listen, don't tell anybody, but I really like this show. So I think this should kind of be like our show that we watch, but we just won't tell.
Yeah, kids.
But we just won't tell anyone. Like we won't share that because we want to be too cool about it. And then his wife was a fan as well. It was super fun. They had 2 couches. So it started as just Bert and I, and then his wife came in, and then one of the other women that work in the office with him, she's a big fan of the show also. So she came in. It was tons of fun. Like it's always interesting to sit with someone that you represent a part of their childhood, because I have the same thing. Like I have people that represent such a big part of my childhood. It happens to be like Tony Hawk and skaters and stuff when I was younger. But it's so interesting to be on the flip side of that, to be like, oh my God, oh shit, you were like, you really watched and loved it. And it's still, for me, it's mind blowing sometimes when I meet people and they say that, because it's like, I get out of here. It's this weird, we have this weird thing in our business where people assume that all celebrities know each other. And we're all just kind of like friends, and like neither one of us really cares about the work, the stuff that we're doing. We're all just sort of in the same business and we're doing it. But we're all fans of this business. It's what got us into it in the first place. Like most people wanted to be in movies or TV shows because they grew up loving movies and TV shows. Or whether it was the way the acting that was in them, the way they were shot, the way they were scored. So we're all constantly meeting other people within the business that we're fans of.
Yeah.
So it's weird. From the outside, you would assume that everybody within the business is like, we're just sort of part of this group and we're all friends, but it's very much like any other business.
Is there anyone you'd geek out over if you met? Like, who would you actually fangirl over if you met them?
I know pretty much everybody.
You've met everyone at this point.
Anthony Hopkins.
Uh-huh.
Barack Obama.
Sure.
Michelle Obama.
Definitely. Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, how was that not the first one you said? I'm
surprised that I've never met Dave, because he and Soleil are really good friends. Like
really?
I know tons of people around, and I've never met him, but I'm such a
huge fan of his.
Mm-hmm. Massive fan. And then I became a fan of Nate Bargatze, because I was such a massive fan of Dave, and you were like, baby, can you stop watching Dave literally every single night?
I can recite every single special of his.
Every special. And I was like, oh, no. He talked about that in Sticks and Stones. And like, I knew that, all of them. So then in searching, I found Nate, and Nate's hysterical as well.
Unbelievable.
Oh
and
God,
his career's
so funny.
Blown up in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But he's been around forever.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bert. Bert's been around forever doing it. He just finally, it seems there's that audience that feels like they found him and they get him, and he's hit his stride, and he's hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's his thing. Yeah.
I'll share with you something that gave me anxiety recently.
Okay.
You're like, oh God, what have I done? No.
Okay.
No, I actually shared it with you at the time. You were away, I think, which was also when stuff comes up, I just,
Is this when I was in Spain?
Maybe before it. So I did
At a
this
convention.
interview with People magazine. They reach out and they're like, hey, it's the anniversary of Dancing with the Stars. Is it 20 years, 25 years, 20?
I don't know.
5 years, 25 years.
I couldn't
maybe?
answer that question with 90210, so I definitely can't answer it with.
So I do this interview with people because they've reached out to my team. We'd love to do an episode on the impact of Dancing with the Stars on her life and all those things because, you know, she was a huge core part of it and it's coming up to the big anniversary. And I was like, yeah, totally. I'd love to do that. Now, naturally, whenever I agree to any interview, I'm always going to be asked about our family and our extended family because people just try and find a way in, right?
Right.
And the question was either I heard it wrong or she heard me wrong. But I thought the question was, how are the kids loving their new sibling or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Remember this?
Okay, we're doing this story.
Yeah, this story.
Yes, okay.
And
yes.
I was like, oh my God, the kids love that's their baby sister. You know, no, have they met her or something like that? Of course, that's their baby sister. They're absolutely in love with her, you know, and whatever, lucky family.
Yeah.
And then I went on to just talk about how lucky I am because, you know, of the family that we have and how I always wanted so many kids, a story I've told many times before. So that headline that came out of this, my manager calls me the morning it was released and she's like, hey, I just want to, have you seen the article that came out? I just want to check that you're good. It all seems very personal and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, okay. She sends me the link to it. And the headline is something along the lines of Sharna says son, Zane, is absolutely in love with baby sister, Colson and Megan's baby. And I was like, what? In what world? And it gave me, I laugh about it now.
I remember
because who cares?
huge anxiety.
Huge anxiety because that makes
You're
me
like,
look,
should I clarify? Should I like
well, I
post
messaged them
something?
straight away, even on Instagram and through my team, and was like, this is completely false. You know what I mean? You need to take this down.
Yeah.
And I think they corrected it on the website, but I know they took it down from Instagram straight away because I was looking at it like, that's psychotic. You know what I mean? That's we're all one big family and I love this too. You know, this is as much as and it takes work.
Yeah.
But I'm under no idea that she is Zane's sister.
Right.
I was like, that's blurring the lines even too much for me.
Right.
And I felt really weird about it. And I felt like I needed to defend myself. Like they weren't my words. And I ended up just ignoring it because who cares?
It's so tough with media that way.
There's so much more happening in the world. I think it was around the LA raids. Like there's so much more happening in the world that matters more than my words being misquoted.
Right.
But it just gave me anxiety about ever doing interviews. And I never used to feel this way about them because no one was ever trying to dig into my life to get information
no one was
on anything.
picking apart words
and
reforming them into their own
into
sentences.
something else.
Yeah.
But this has happened to me multiple times now. A byproduct of my life now, and that's fine. But now it gives me anxiety doing interviews.
Yeah.
Like I used to be such an open sharer. Why not? And I could be. It was me and Duke and Daisy in my Dancing with the Stars career.
Yeah.
And slowly over the last almost 5 years, by the way, baby, coming up on 5 years for us.
Crazy.
That's amazing.
That's bananas.
I've gotten more and more, I censor myself more and more and more and more stressed about what it is that I say or don't say. And now I get anxiety doing interviews.
Yeah.
And you've grown up with that.
But I'm still, I'm terrible at like really picking the right wording of things sometimes. And I can easily say things that can be misconstrued and looked at in a different way.
Sure.
I just don't care at this point because it's kind of like I feel like they're going to do it anyway. Right. No matter, even if I just like really sit down and focus on an interview and make sure that I say things right, I'm going to be misquoted. People are going to kind of
parts are going to be taken for a headline. Yeah.
It's just what happens when one person, because the person writing isn't in our mind, they don't think like us. So they hear certain things and think, their mind runs wild and they think that they've got it and that's what you're saying, even though that's not at all what you're saying. But you can't autocorrect that live as you're doing an interview. It's just not possible. Like you sort of have to you have to pick your words and how you feel and what it is you're going to say. And then you just stick to it and you go, if somebody is going to take it out of context and write something else out of it, then what am I going to do about it?
Another interview I did recently that was really awkward.
What?
You're like, oh my God, tell me. It was for Australian press because obviously the season is airing. And I didn't know when I agreed to this interview what the context of the article was about. It was something about what I know of men or something like that. And I was like, that's interesting. But okay.
Sure.
Dating history, found my, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it's honoring the men that, helped shape who I am, that had great influence on me.
Okay.
In my life.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they open up with, tell me about your dad. And I was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I'm so sorry. What's the context of this? I don't think I was informed properly. When she's like, oh, we're, honoring all the men that have been a part of your life, and you just say something good about them, and whatever the questions were that were very direct about how he inspired me, influenced, loved me, shaped me, all these things. And I was like, I'm so sorry. This is going to be really uncomfortable, but there's not really much that I can say there. I had a really complicated relationship with my dad. Is there anyone else we can talk about?
Right.
And she was like, oh,
right.
That's
is there
fine.
A therapist I can
And she was like, is there anything that he did? And she kept digging and digging. And I was like, well, I can honestly say that I got into dance because of him. So we can, let's do that.
Did you get into dance or did you stay in dance because of him?
I would say, well, actually, to be fair, it was my dad's mum that got me into dance because she took me to my first ballroom competition. And so
I just know he was really proud of you. And so he would show up at all the dance stuff.
Yes.
And so
he was
that
my
meant
biggest
something
supporter.
to you then because that was sort of a cool connection that you guys
was our
had
thing.
during that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And longer story about all the rest of it after that. But yes. And so I credited him for being my number one fan with dancing. And, he'd follow me to England and America and did all the things when he could and when he was well enough. So we found something. But in the very beginning, I was like, I'm so sorry. There's just I don't have those stories about him. And I didn't want to go into detail with her on why. We don't need to dive into it's not for her to know. But yeah, it was really uncomfortable. But then we did get to talk. She was like, okay, what about a coach? And what about this? And what about that?
And then you could find some other inspirational.
Yeah. And then I also brought up Jason, my brother, because we've deeply reconnected and I have incredible memories of him from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so I shared some stories about him as well. And we got there in the end, but it was the most uncomfortable thing because I was like, well, first of all, it's women that have influenced my life.
Right.
My mom, other coaches, mentors, people I was inspired by, it was all women in my life. I was just not aware of what this article was that was being written. I was like, the men that have shaped me? How about none of them? Anyway, moving on. To be fair, my dad's presence did shape me.
It did.
I can't.
Right, in certain ways.
Yeah, into therapy.
Right. It shaped me right into a therapist's office.
On that
That's
note.
it. Yeah. I thank you all for joining us for another episode of Oldish. And we'll I think we're going to, we'll bring them another one this week, right?
We'll do another one this week.
Yeah.
We've got an idea for a cute rapid fire fun.
We do. Don't give that away because that's an interesting one.
All right.
I like
Tune in
that.
for it.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
I just wanted to take a moment to let you know that you don't have to navigate life alone. If there's something hard that you're dealing with or you're just ready for a change, then reach out to me at randyspelling.com, or you could DM me on Instagram, also at randyspelling. And if I can help you, I will. If there's a resource that I can share with you, I will also do that as well. Thanks.